what's up guys, TechTine here, and this is the TCL Ion X. So you know the saying that cheap phones are getting good and good phones are getting cheap? This is a famous quote going on in a budget world. Personally, I think that every rule has an exception, and this is one of those exceptions. So this phone basically is as basic as you can get in a smartphone. And the MSRP price for this phone is $120, but carriers are giving it away for around 70 bucks. Let's talk about it. Beginning with the build quality itself, this phone is made entirely out of plastic, so plastic built all the way around, of course except for the display. And the back does have this kind of textured material that's supposed to help out with the grip, but it really doesn't. It's a very slippery phone, and notably it's a very light phone as well. And one of the coolest things that can really tell you that this is a basic phone is that it comes with a removable 3000 milliamp hour battery. Now the rated capacity is 2880. We're going to talk more about that later as well. Okay, as far as the port selection goes, on the bottom you do have your USB-C as well as your bottom facing speaker. It's only a single firing speaker, so it's not really a dual speaker or anything like that. And the USB-C port does not support any fast charging. And the buttons, the power button and the volume up and down, they're mushy, they're not really tactile, but again, as basic as you can get in a smartphone. Yeah, they do their job. That's what basic means, you know what I mean? So they click, they turn the phone on and off, they turn the volume up and down. That's all I can say about the buttons. And it does not have any fingerprint sensor or anything like that. So next up is the display. And in a basic phone, you have to have some sort of a okay to decent display that does its job, and that's just what it is here. So as far as resolution goes, you have a 6-inch 1440 by 720p panel, and it is IPS. Not the sharpest thing in the world, and it does have color bleed here and there. However, it does the job. It does the job for $120. It's not sharp. It doesn't have no 90 hertz, no 120 hertz, none of that fancy stuff, and it shouldn't at this price point. As far as I'm concerned, the display does what it's supposed to. I know it's not the sharpest thing in the world, but actually, like when it comes to consuming media, it's not all that bad. You can tell the pixels when you're up and close and personal with the phone, but overall, it does the job and it's very, very decent at it. As far as the speaker quality, I do have to say that it is not that good at all. So here, take a listen.
Kind of familiar. 3 separate camera lenses with rings around them, and these rings are actually made out of plastic, and they're kind of raised up a little bit, so that way when you set your phone on a flat surface, it does not actually scratch the glass that's protecting the lens.
Okay, so as you guys listened, it doesn't really get that loud, and when you do put the volume up at the highest volume, it kind of becomes tinty and grainy and just overall not that good of a speaker. However, it is what it is. It does the job just fine. Alright, so next up, let's talk about this camera, or should I say smart camera. Yeah, I don't know what the hell is up with that, but basically, again, as basic as you can get with a camera, it's a single lens rated at 13 megapixel as far as the main sensor, and you do have a front 5 megapixel sensor. It seems like it does have like a kind of a laser flash or like a laser autofocus, whatever, and it does have a LED flash. The camera does protrude a little bit. However, here's what I have to say about this camera. When it comes to taking pictures, it's very fast, like extremely fast, pretty much just snap and shoot, which really surprised me, and that already gets a thumbs up from my end. However, when you look at the picture quality themselves, I do have to say they're okay, they're basic. They're not actually, no, they're not okay. They're not really that great. It's very grainy, and it lacks sharpness, it lacks detail, it lacks a lot of things. However, it gets the job done for a basic phone. Now let's flip the page and talk about performance. So as far as the specs go, this phone does have an 8-core CPU, and it is the Helio G25, accompanied with 3 gigabytes of RAM as well as a 3000 milliamp hour battery. Now the battery is rated at 2880, so almost 3000 milliamps. And as far as the performance in general goes, it's okay. It's very slow actually. When it comes to opening up daily tasks, it does just fine. But really, where you will see the struggle is when you're, I don't know, opening up the web, scrolling through web pages, or even, for example, YouTube. When I opened up the YouTube app, for whatever reason, it just lags when I'm scrolling up and down. Yeah, you will notice a performance issue when it comes to this device, especially when you give it these tasks, and they're not really heavy demanding tasks either. They're just basic, but That's just what you would expect with a phone at this price point and these kind of specs. So keep that in mind. Overall, as a conclusion, here's what I have to say though. Like I said, this is just as basic as it gets for a phone, and the people that are really going to get this phone are ones that just need a phone on the fly, or even you're a parent and you just want to get your kids a phone just to check up on them from time to time. You just want to get them a basic phone that does the basic tests such as calling, texting, and here and there accessing, the internet from time to time. But like I said, just don't get too mad at this phone if you want to buy it. This is just as a basic as you can get with a smartphone. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you guys in the next one.